Swamavastabhya Vishrujami Punah Punah Bhutagramam Imam Kritsnam Avashyam Prakruter Vashat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Soni Mataji, is it possible for you to read the text and we can repeat after you?
Hare Krishna, yes. 1 minute. Chapter 9, text 8.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prakritim swam avastabhya
Prakritim Swamavastabhya
virjami punah punaha
Vishrujami Punah Punah
Bhutagramam imam Krishnam
Bhutagramam Imam Krishnam
Avasham prakritar vashat. Wow, that's a hard one.
Avasham Prakritir Vashat.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Soni Mataji. Raj Kishori Mataji, is it possible for you to read and we'll repeat after you so we get the right pronunciation, Mataji?
Mataji, if you hold on 1 minute, I haven't even got the book open yet. So.
Okay, Mataji. I'll ask Richa if she can do it, and then by then you'll be ready for the. Richa, are you ready? Chapter 9, text 8.
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes, I can try.
Okay, try please.
I didn't join Mangalacharan again, so Srila Prabhupada ki jai, the whole Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Prakritim swam avastabhya
Prakritim Swamavastabhya
Vishrajami Punah Punah
Vishrajami Punah Punah
Bhutagramam Imam Kritsnam
Bhutagramam Imam Kritsnam
Avasam Prakritar Vasat.
Avasam Prakritir Vashat.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Raj Kishori Mataji.
Prakritim swamavastabhya
Prakritim Swamavastabhya
Visrujami punah punah
Vishrujami Punah Punah
Bhutagramam imam Kritsnam
Bhutagramam Imam Kritsnam
Avasham prakrute vashat.
Avasham Prakriti Vashat.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Because once you do the right pronunciation, we also do it. So I think we should ask one devotee who knows how to do it, has read it more than us, so that we get the pronunciation correctly. Lata Mataji, is it possible for you to do the word to word, please?
Prakritim, the material nature.
The material
nature. Swam, of my personal self.
Of my personal
self. Avastabhya, entering into. Vishrujami, I create.
I
I
create.
create.
Puna Puna,
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 again and again.
again
again
and
and
again.
again.
Bhutagramam,
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 all the cosmic manifestations.
all the cosmic manifestation.
Imam,
Imam,
mam,
these.
these.
Krishnam,
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 in total.
in
in
total.
total.
Avasham,
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 automatically.
automatically.
Prakriti,
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 of the force of nature.
of
of
the
the
force
force
of
of
nature.
nature.
Vashat,
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 under obligation.
under
under
obligation.
obligation.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I saw Ravi Prabhuji, but I think he's not there. Okay, Avinash Prabhuji, is it possible for you to read the translation, please?
Okay. Translation. The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will. Okay, people want to repeat, yeah?
Yes, Prabhuji.
The whole cosmic order is under me.
The
The
whole
whole
cosmic
cosmic
order
order is
is
under me.
Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again.
Under my
Under
will,
my will,
it is
it is automatically manifested again and again.
And under my will, it is annihilated at the end.
And under
And
my
under my will, it is
it is
annihilated
annihilated at the end.
at the end.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Prahlad. Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Prahlad.
Hare Krishna.
Is it possible for you to read the purport for us, please?
Yes. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Yeah.
This material world is the manifestation of the inferior energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This has already been explained several times. At the creation, the material energy is let loose as the Mahat Tattva, into which the Lord, as his first Purusha incarnation, Mahavishnu, enters. He lies within the causal ocean, and breathes out innumerable universes. And into each universe, the Lord again enters as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Each universe is in that way created. He still further manifests himself as Kshirodakshayi Vishnu, and that Vishnu enters into everything, even into the minute atom. This fact is explained here. He enters into everything. Now, as far as living entities are concerned, they are impregnated into his material nature, and as a result of their past deeds, they take different positions. Thus, the activities of this material world begin. The activities of the different species of living beings are begun from the very moment of the creation. It is not that all is evolved. The different species of life are created immediately along with the universe. Men, animals, beasts, birds, everything is simultaneously created, because whatever desires the living entities had at the last annihilation are again manifested. It is clearly indicated here by the word avasam that the living entities have nothing to do with this process. The state of being in their past life, in the past creation, is simply manifested again. And all this is done simply by His will. This is the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Personality of God. And after creating different species of life, He has no connection with them. The creation takes place to accommodate the inclinations of the various living entities, and so the Lord does not become involved with it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prahlad, for reading the purport. Okay, let's reflect on this. Divyesh Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Can you reflect on this, Prabhuji?
Sure. Here, Lord Krishna confirms that the whole cosmic order is under him, meaning everything is under his control. He also confirms to us that the world, all of us, at the end of the day, we'll be all annihilated, and the world again begins. And he's explained this, I think, before as well. So one thing is for sure is that I'm thinking about this is that we need to think, where do we want to be? Do we want to be part of this all the time, or what direction in life do we actually want to take? Do we want to surrender unto the Lord, or do we want to be part of this process over and over and over again, where we come back is in the purpose? It says, depending on where we thought, we begin again from there, whether it's a beast, animal, man. So the Lord is, his words are never a lie. It's exactly how it happens. And we must have full faith in it. So he's telling us, as he says, this is a most confidential knowledge, that number one, the world is under him, the whole cosmic world. Number two, it's unlighted and it's done again. And I think number three, from that, we need to decide that he's blessed us with this life. Which direction do we actually want to do? That's my reflection. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I think that was a good reflection, Prabhuji. Maybe I can reflect before somebody else can reflect. So I mean, we must be really stupid, I feel now, because the Lord saote, I mean, all the time he's doing this. I think it must be such a boring job for him, and seeing that, guys, you don't even understand what you have to do, and I have to create and annihilate again and again and again. So it must be so, I feel he's really merciful to go through this. If I have to tell a child, if I have to tell my daughter all the time the same thing, pick up your clothes and put them in the basket, pick up your clothes and put them in the basket, it really drains me. But he's so kind, he just keeps on doing it and doing it and doing it, and waits for us to open our eyes and go back to him. I just, in this verse, I can just see his mercy. Hare Krishna. Yes, Richa Mataji?
Hare Krishna. I'm sorry if you can't hear me properly because I still have health issues.
We can still hear you, loud and clear.
Thank you. The one thing that I learned from this whole 9th chapter is that it is basically trying to tell us that, so many times, it is the main reason for what a person will lose his pride. We have so much pride that we created this is mine, that me, myself, will just end just by reading this chapter of where Krishna is just telling everything true, that this is from me, this is from me, this is from me. Now you decide what is from you and what do you own. You don't even have anything like you, I, me, him. There is nothing like that. It's just Krishna, Krishna, and Krishna. Whatever is happening for the good. I read this quote from Bhagavatam, where Krishna mentions that whatever has happened with my willingness, and it has happened for good. Whatever will happen, whatever is happening, is also happening with my willingness, and it's happening for good. And whatever will happen with my willingness, and will happen for good. So this is like a very eye-opener for all those people who have pride, who have what do we call envy from God, those who have this ego that this is mine, this is what I did, I, me, myself. Even to those people who fake or who pretend to be that we are God, we are Krishna, those commentators, those Mayavadis who try to manipulate different devotees in different ways. This is a complete open book to all those people that who Krishna is, what he can do, and a truth about Krishna and his powers, which I think everyone in the end must accept if they want to continue in the path of their spiritual life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Raj Kishori Mataji, your hand was up before. And after that, Prahlad.
Yes,
Mataji.
I think that it tells us that we are in a prison. We are in a lockdown. This prison, we can't get out. And that we are in this prakriti. We cannot come out until and unless we finish all our karmas here. Otherwise, we keep going in different species. We think that I'll eat a chicken or I'll eat mango and I'll get away. But no, if it is not even offered to Krishna, then even if we eat a mango and we haven't offered it to Krishna, then we will be serving. There'll be sinful activity. It's not just that we've eaten a chicken and we're going to pay for it. Even if we don't offer a mango and we eat it up, then we are eating sins. And that is going to keep us in this automatically, will be manifested again and again. As soon as the creation goes down, will be unmanifest and will come out again. But we will not be able to get out of the material manifestation. That's what I'm reflecting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. It has come very in time for me because I do forget to offer sometimes. So thank you for that reminding. We are still karmic people and it doesn't come natural for us. So thank you for reminding us. Thank you so much. Prahlad?
Yes. This text, it really just shows us, from childhood when we're being when we're gaining knowledge about God, we always think that we are like a tiny speck to him, like before I used to think like I'm so small compared to someone so great, and now this makes us look even smaller. It makes us look even smaller because here we're being told that we are the inferior energy, we are his inferior energy, we come from him, and we are told here, that he's the one who is, annihilating and then recreating us all over again. So and he can do it whenever he wants and however he wants. And here, I can't just stress the fact that, this also describes this like men, animals, beasts, birds, everything is simultaneously created, because whatever desires the living entities had at the last annihilation are again manifested. So we are being told here that we have this misconception about, evolving from certain animals. It's Darwin's theory. Of course, Darwin's theory has had many arguments previously in the past with religion and all that. So here we are told that, Darwin's theory that we evolved is false. It is not that we are that all is evolved. Everything, the animals, beasts, birds, anything that is living and breathing is simultaneously created. So what I understand from this, the moment our earth pops, the moment it pops out, it's not that we evolved from apes or monkeys. And of course there is annihilation that happens. Everything has an end, everything is temporary. So we're told that whatever desires the living entities had in the last annihilation are again manifested. So I don't know whether this also shows if it's like a cycle, the earth becomes created, or be it any planet becomes created with living things or with life, and then, we have the living things that have desires, and then afterwards it becomes annihilated over again and then recreated with previous desires being manifested again. So I think it's like a cycle. So it shows somewhat of a cycle. And what really captured my eye in this, or my attention towards this is that, the second last line, whereby it says, and after creating different species of life, he has no connection with them. So it's really intriguing, we're I mean, like, from my interpretation or from my eyes, someone could correct me or um also add on, but we we say there is the super soul, yes, but when here we're talking about connection, I'm not sure if he actually, when they mean connection, I mean, like, he's actually, like, staying here in his physical form with us. I don't know, or directly connected to us, that we can see him every now and then, or with this spiritual vision that we're gaining, or communicate with him. I don't know whether it's that, but someone could correct me and as well contribute more. And we're told here that the creation takes place to accommodate the inclinations of various living entities, and so the Lord does not become involved with it. So this last line takes me back to, I'm not sure which chapter it is, but we were told about our desires. Krishna can give them, but he's not, involved in them. Whatever is the outcome of whatever you desired, he's not involved with it at all. So you can't blame him, you can't blame anyone. So he's completely not involved with with the outcome of whatever we desire. And I guess that's it. That's all I have to say. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you for raising few points, and we'll ask our mentor to address it later on. Vishaka Mataji has her hand up, Mataji.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. It's just a small realization. I've been reading, when I read Prabhupada's, like, listen or read his books, he, this universe gets highlighted and it gets created. We go through the birth, old age, disease, and death, and again we get a life. So he keeps on saying we are chewing the chewed. Like it's like a sugar cane. When we chew it and chew it until the juice is finished, but we keep on chewing it. So, like, we have, in our past life, we have experienced everything, like all this what we are experiencing now, and we are repeating again, but we still, our desires are just not going. So we are like chewing the chewed, which is, it hasn't got anything in it, but we keep on uh, of having ambitions in our life, and keep on trying and all that, not realizing that we should try to end this whole process. So that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's an excellent example, Mataji. I think you really drove the point home. Any more contribution or realization? If not, then I'll hand over to Avinash Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
before you start, and maybe because Raj Kishori Mataji might leave before we finish, I just like to request for Thursday. Mataji, is it, because it's Gaura Purnima on Sunday, is it possible to tell us few Leelas?
Is it instead of a Bhagavad Gita class, or?
Yes, I think it is important for us to know who Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji is, especially because Sunday is his day, and we glorify him. But if you can tell us 5-6 stories about him, we know all Krishna stories and Ram stories, but till we make an effort of reading it, I think if you can give it to us in a nice, sweet form, we'll really appreciate.
Okay, I'll try my best. So we are not doing the Bhagavad Gita class, then we'll be doing a Gaur Katha instead.
I think, will it be okay? Will it be okay, Mataji? I'm just asking for your...
yes, it will be okay.
Because we don't know much about Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji till we read. So I think our group will benefit more from his Leelas.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay, Mataji, thank you. So Thursday we'll have all the Leelas of Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji.
Okay.
Sorry, Avinash Prabhuji, for interrupting.
No, that's fine. That's
Hare
fine.
Krishna. Hare
We want to hear Gaur Lila. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gauranga. Gauranga.
Gauranga.
Yeah, so I'll start. So thank you for contribution. So we've had Divyesh Prabhu say, we want to go back. Yeah, so we have to decide. Kirtika Mataji, Lord is so kind. Richa Mataji said, whatever happened will happen for good. What is happening for good. And Resh Kishori Mataji said, this is like a prison. And Prahlad has come up with about the inferior energy and superior energy and the Darwin theory. And then Vishaka came up with the chewing the chew. So, yeah. So before I start, I will just go with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak about something. So we are speaking on chapter 9, text 8. And chapter 9 actually is most confidential knowledge. So just to say something about the chapter 9, it's like just as the pearls are hidden within a shell, or as a king is surrounded by an entourage. The essence of Bhagavad Gita is nestled in the middle of the conversation. So now chapter 9 comes in the middle. So here, Krishna outlines the king of all knowledge and the most secrets of all secrets. He explains the very essence of the Bhagavad Gita, the essence of spirituality, and the very essence of the entire being. So the first three texts, actually, Krishna explains us that the wisdom of this chapter is the most confidential, since it illuminates the true position and function of the soul in relation to God. There is a notion that belief in God is intellectually immature and philosophically naive. Logical and rational analysis of the complexity, design, and intricate engineering of this creation, however, makes plain that there must be some conscious intelligence behind it. To categorically deny this suggests a stubborn, irrational, and illogical predisposition. Krishna thus explains this knowledge is state-specific. One must be non-envious and faithful to understand it. Faith is not opposed to knowledge, but is actually a prerequisite for receiving it. So this is text 1, 2, 3. Text 4 to 10 actually talks about his creation. An idea is conceived within the mind. A child is conceived within the womb. In other words, a concept is contained within something. Since the qualities and characteristics of the Lord, however, are unlimited, they cannot be contained within any boundaries, and thus God's activities and relationships are deemed inconceivable. In this section, Krishna begins to impart knowledge of his inconceivable relationship within the universe and all living entities. This knowledge gives an indication of the unfathomable character, greatness, and capacity of God, and thus exposes our inability to comprehend such matters through mundane logic and reason. Okay, so that is text 4 to 10, and we are on text 8. So I just wanted because quite a lot of what we are doing today was actually covered yesterday. If you remember that, yesterday's lecture by Prema Prabhu, yeah, and also by Madan Gopal Prabhu.
Pran Hari Prabhu.
Pran Hari Prabhu, sorry, Pran Hari Prabhu and Madan Gopal Prabhu both actually covered vastly about the creation. But I'm going to actually do something to say about type of avatars we have in the creation. We've got different sort of avatars. So if it can be interactive, I would welcome your views on that. So we can do interactive, but try to mute one at a time so it doesn't cause that much disruption. Okay, so the Bhagavad Gita actually states that the personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, maintains this material universe by extending his plenary expansion. So this Purusha form is the confirmation of the same principle. The original personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, or Lord Krishna, who is famous as the son of King Vasudeva and King Narad, is with all the opulence. Yeah, we know all the opulence is God, all potencies, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. Part of his opulence is manifested as impersonal Brahman, and part of his opulence is manifested as Paramatma. This Purusha feature of the same personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, is the original Paramatma manifestation of the Lord. There are 3 Purusha features in the material creation in this form. Okay, so I'm going to pause here, and I'm just going to ask about the 3 Purusha avatars. And who are they? So if any of you, we can, as I said, it will be, we can make it interactive, so people can give us 3 Purusha avatars.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, if I'm not mistaken, Purusha is in the form of the form that we see. Is that the reason why it is called Purusha?
Okay, so there are 3 Purusha features in the material creation in this form. So there are 3. So there is Mahavishnu, who is Karana, Dakshaya, Vishnu. So when you hear about Purusha avatars, it's the 3 Vishnu forms, yeah? So Karana, Dakshaya, Vishnu is the first of the 3, okay? The other one, so you can now get the other one. So we've got the first one, Karana, Dakshaya, Vishnu, or Mahavishnu. So anyone for the second one?
Kindly raise your hands, because I don't want to take all the answers away. Richa, please just give one example. And then Braj Kishori Mataji will give the next example.
Hare Krishna, there is Garbha Dakshaya Vishnu, which is the second Purusha. Like
Okay.
the one that is responsible for the for, like, let's say the going ahead of the species, like for the generally reproduction, like for the Garbha, generally the baby born, for that blessing, Garbha Dakshaya Vishnu is responsible.
Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna. And finally, the final one.
Raj Kishori Mataji, you have your
Um,
hand raised up.
Yes, the third one is Kshirodakshayi Vishnu. As a super soul, he enters into every soul in the universe, this present universe, the material world. And he stays with the soul as a super soul within the same body. And he is a Kshirodakshayi Vishnu.
Okay, thank you. So everyone's right here. So the innumerable universes are generated from the skin holes of Karana Dakshaya Vishnu. And in each of the universe, the Lord enters as Garbha Dakshaya Vishnu. So the next bit is, so we have done Purusha avatars. So do people know about Lila Avatars? So if I ask you, there are actually in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 10 Lila avatars given, but there are more than that. Yeah, there are quite a lot. 10 popular Lila avatars. I don't know whether you want to do interactive or you want me to just name them, but if people want to do go through Lila avatars, and Lila avatars are the ones who have actually done some sort of Lila, yeah, as they came. So I will ask people to give me an answer. So it's interactive, so people can also participate.
So Richa Mataji, can you just give one example of the 10 avatars?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. One of the best example of the Lila Avatar is Krishna himself, who was here with Srimati Radharani and all the Leelas that he did. We already have a book, so that's one of the biggest examples. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Rama Avatar is another avatar. Anybody else?
Matsya Avatar.
Yes, well done.
Matsya Avatar, yeah.
Which other one?
Nrsimhadev.
Nrsimhadev.
Narsimhadev, yes.
Varaha Avatar.
Varaha Avatar,
Varaha Avatar.
the fifth one.
Kalki.
That is yet to come, yes. That. Sorry, Prabhuji.
Also Narayan Avatar.
Vaman Avatar.
Yeah, also Narayan Avatar.
Yeah, Narayan. Vaman, yes.
Excuse me, Prabhu. Narayan is in a
Parashuram.
Narayan. Narayan is one of the listed avatars.
What about Vara Avatar?
Yeah, Vara Avatar.
Prabhuji, is it possible after we do all these 10 avatars to shed some light on Narayan Avatar?
Yeah, so I've got the list here. Narada Avatar, Varaha Avatar, Matsya Avatar, Yagna, Narayan, Kardami, Dattatreya, Havashirsha, Hamsa, Dhuva Priya, Rishabha, Prithu, Narsima, Kurma, Dhanvantari, Mohini, Vamana, Parshurama, Ramachandra, Vyasadev, yeah, Prilambari Balaram, Krishna, Buddha, and Kalki. Yeah, those are the avatars, but there are 10 most popular avatars which are on Srimad Bhagavatam. So the others are, there's quite a lot of actually avatars, but 10 most popular are given. So popular ones are Ram, Krishna, Varaha, Kurma, Buddha, Kalki, all the nursing, the old popular avatars, yeah. So that's a Lila avatar, and then so we've gone through Purusha avatar, Lila avatar, then there is Guna avatar, yeah. So people know about Guna avatar.
No.
Okay.
Goodness,
No,
passion,
no.
Okay, goodness, passion, and
ignorance.
ignorance. Yeah, and who are the avatars?
Sati Guna,
Yeah, that's Vishnu.
and Brahma, is it Rajik Guna?
Yeah, that's right. And mode of ignorance, Tamaguna,
Shiva.
Shiva. Yeah, so those are Guna avatars. Yeah, so those are the three Guna avatars. Thank you, Divesh Prabhu. Yeah. Okay. Then the final, I think, it's Manavantara avatars. So Manvantara avatars, I will just say, it's a Brahma day, 1,000 Chatur yugas, is divided into 14 periods of rule of Manus, fathers of mankind, known as Manan avatars. The incarnation during these Mana antaras are listed as follows: Yagna, Vibhu, Satyasena, Hari, Vaikunta, Ajita, Sarvabhauma, Rishabha, Vishwaskshena, Dharma, Suddhama, Yogeshwara, and Bridhabhanu. Yeah. So there are 14 periods of rules of Manu. It comes into Brahma's day. So you know how much Brahma's day is like, yeah? We all covered that. Okay, and finally, we know the 4 yugas, which is Satyuga, which is of lasting 1,728,000 years. Then there is Treta Yuga, lasting 1,296,000 years. Then there is Dwapar Yuga, lasting 864,000 years. And finally, we've got Kali Yuga, lasting 432,000 years. So in each of these yugas, the Lord incarnates with different body color according to the yuga. Krishna appears as an incarnation in every millennium. In the past, he assumed 3 different colors: white, red, and yellow. And he has now appeared in a blackish color. That was 5,000 years ago. So Srimad Bhagavatam 10:8-13 says, in the Satya Yuga, a white avatara appeared to Kardama Muni to establish meditation as the process of the self-realization. In the Treta Yuga, a red avatara appeared to Brahma to establish the fire sacrifice as the process of the self-realization. In the Dwapar Yuga, a dark avatara, Krishna, appeared as the son of Devaki to establish temple worship as the process for self-realization. In the Kali Yuga, a yellow avatar appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hari Bol, as the son of Sachi Mata to establish the chanting of the holy names, Mama Sankirtana, as the process of self-realization. And that's what we are going to discuss when Raj Kishori Mataji talks about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. So we talked about the manifestation. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about manifestation and about the creation. So did a supreme intelligent being create the universe? To elaborate Vedic description of creation can make even an atheist curious. The universe around us appears to be orderly and symmetrical. The planets rotate perfectly in their orbits. Our body possesses complex circulatory, respiratory, and digestive systems. Even the atoms are highly structured. All these suggest that the universe was created not by chance, but by an intelligent person. If human beings can create houses, skyscrapers, and many other structures, it is plausible that a person far more powerful than any other human created the universe and everything in it. But although the design evident in every corner of the visible world strongly indicates the plan of an intelligent creator, God, by logic alone, we cannot be absolutely certain that he exists. The origin of the cosmos is beyond our experience. We did not observe the creation of the universe, and for all we know, it could have happened in a number of ways. That we are not considered and are unable to consider. On the platform of logic, therefore, the debate over whether or not there is a supreme being, creator, must always end in a stalemate. The Vedic literature confirms that we cannot conclusively understand the supreme being by logic alone. The Bhagavad Gita declares that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is the creator of both this universe and the spiritual world beyond it, can be understood only by his mercy. When he is pleased to reveal himself to his faithful devotees. Although our logic and mental gymnastics cannot rise to embrace the Lord, he can, by his omnipotence, pierce through the uncertainty and ignorance of his faithful servants and show himself to them. While confirming the fallibility of human reasoning, however, the Vedas do not recommend that we abandon reason. If we lack deep philosophical understanding of God, our faith in him tends towards sentiment and fanaticism and easily falls prey to atheist arguments. The Vedic literature therefore includes all manner of logical arguments, including the arguments from design, indicating that universe is the work of a supreme powerful person. But the Vedic literature goes further as well, describing in detail the stages of creation, the age and dimension of the universe, and the purpose of creation and the origin of the material elements. The Vedic literature, in other words, not only proclaims God created, but also tells us how and why he created. Yeah. So this is about creation. Now, to begin with the Vedic literature, that actually asserts that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not obliged to participate directly in the creative work, which we saw yesterday as well. It was mentioned, is not obliged to participate. While theists sometimes conceive of God as an extremely hardworking old man who has little more off from his duty as creator, the Vedic literature explains that the God creates by his desire alone, without having to exert himself in the least. Since he possesses unlimited power and wealth, he can, like any other wealthy person, get others to do work from him. If a wealthy financier wants to construct an office building, he doesn't do everything himself. He conceives a general plan or chooses a building site, then hires lawyers, architects, engineers, contractors, and so on to execute his will. The financier doesn't have to dig the foundation or the cement or lay the bricks. Like the wealthy financer, the Supreme Lord is aloof from the work of creation, but just how he delegates the creative duties and to whom is unique. Unlike ordinary persons, Krishna can expand himself into innumerable forms, known as plenary expansions, who are equal to him in power and opulence. These expansions are all the same personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. And yet, at the same times, they are individuals with independent thoughts and actions. Brahma Samhita actually gives us an analogy that just as one candle can light many other candles, each within the same power to illuminate. So Krishna, the original personality of Godhead, can expand himself into innumerable plenary forms and still maintain his identity as the supreme original person. A person's appearance on millennium of the television screens at once partially illustrates Krishna's power to expand. The difference being that the television expansions are only images of the original person and must move and speak as the person does, whereas Krishna's expansion, although non-different from him, can act as they please. They are not mere images, but the complete individuals. I don't know how long we have got. I've got few slides here, but I can conclude. We have covered quite a lot, but I can conclude, or whether you want me to continue for a few more minutes.
Yes, Prabhuji, we have few more minutes, and I've shared the screen with you. Multiple participants.
Okay. So why we talked about worldly finances. So we might also wonder how Mahavishnu could perform the gigantic act of creating all the material elements without being totally depleted, dispersing himself into elemental creation. Materially speaking, when we take something from a particular source, we gradually exhaust that source. We draw money from your bank account and the balance goes down. Pour water from glass and the glass empties. Take milk from the cow and the cow gradually dries up, unless you can replenish her supply from a pasture or a feed bin. Since God is by definition the source of everything, there is nothing outside him to replenish him. So what happens to Mahavishnu when he creates the material elements from himself? The Ishopanishad says, nothing happens to him at all. Mahavishnu is unaffected, unchanged, even while supplying an unlimited quality of elements. How could this be? Because depletion and exhaustions are properties of matter. Mahavishnu, however, is not matter, but the pure spirit, and therefore he has no material properties. He produces the complete cosmic manifestation from his own form, yet remains perfect and complete. As Krishna expands into Mahavishnu without changing his form and identity, so Mahavishnu creates the material elements, yet remains complete in himself. The Srimad Bhagavatam informs us that from the material elements, Mahavishnu produces not one, but innumerable universes, and rather universal shells. The gigantic shells are hollow spheres. The lower half is filled with water, and upper half, at least initially, is empty. The Bhagavatam also states that our particular universe is the smallest of all universes, and yet the space inside the shell measures the 4 billion miles in diameter. while the shell itself is billions miles thick. Mahavishnu expands his personality and enters each universe as Garbho Dakshai Vishnu. Garbho Dakshai Vishnu then generates from Brahma, the first living entity in the universe. Although Lord Brahma is eternal, individual person, he is not plenary expansion of the Lord. He, like you and me, is Jiva Tattva expansion. In quality, equal with Krishna, but quantitatively minute. Like we are quantitatively very minute. Our soul is pure, is superior, but our body is complete. So in quantity, quality, we are same, but quality-wise, Krishna is everything. The Jiva Tattva expansion are part and parcel of Krishna, and such their eternal blissful function is to render loving service to him. In fact, they have no other function, just as finger has no other function than to render service to the entire body. When the Jiva souls are separated from the eternal service of the Lord Krishna, they lose the eternal bliss nature. That's just as the finger loses its very life when severed with some from the body. So before coming to material creation, the Jiva souls live in eternal spiritual world, which lies beyond the material universe. There they act in their relationship as servants, friends, associates of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Since their relationship with Krishna are based solely on love, however, Jiva souls have minute degree of independence. They can choose to remain subordinate to the all-powerful Supreme Personal, or they can desire to neglect his service and become independent lords themselves. Without this choice, this freedom to serve and not to serve, there is no question of loving God. Since love is necessary, an act of free will. A minority of Jiva souls misusing their independence desire to enjoy life without Krishna. So it is to fulfill as well as to reform. This unnatural desire of relatively small number of Jiva that Lord Krishna creates the material world. Walled within the shells of material universe, the independently minded Jivas are awarded bodies in any of the millennium. Sorry.
It's okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. Sorry, so it's just my daughter-in-law is waiting for me, so I will just complete this. So it is so okay. I'll just conclude on one of the final slides which I have, and I'll share the slides so people can actually see what I was talking about. So within each of the innumerable universe, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu expands as Shirodakshaya Vishnu. We talked about this, who then expands himself unlimitedly to enter the hearts of the living entities in his particular universe. The expansion of Krishna is known as Paramatma, the super soul, who accomplished each Jiva in his search of material pleasures. Okay. In Gita, Lord Krishna says that as a super soul, he directs Jiva search by supplying them with the memory knowledge and forgetfulness. At that, the Jiva soul is taken from this present body and prepared for his next birth in one of the 8.4 million species. All this is arranged by the Lord in the heart. The human body is just suitable for austerity, self-realization, reawakening Krishna consciousness. But if a human being acts and desires like an animal, he is allowed in his next life to enjoy the body of the animal. In marked contrast to the Jiva soul, the super soul, although situated within the material body, is never controlled by the desire to enjoy matter. Krishna and his expansions are the controllers of the material energy, whereas the jiva, as long as he desires to forget Krishna, is controlled by the same energy. In the Upanishads, the jiva soul and the super soul are compared to two birds. You have heard that philosophy of two birds sitting in the same tree of the body. One body, the jiva tries to enjoy fruit of the tree of material pleasures, forgetting the other bird, the super soul, who is patiently watching. The super soul observes and directs jiva's activities, unaffected by material desire. Only the jiva souls assume material bodies and try to enjoy matter. We have all experienced, however, that this material world is not a place of unadulterated enjoyment. In fact, it is sometimes argued that even if there is a God, he could not be good or just. His creation is filled with disease, old age, death, and many other miseries. Krishna, however, creates this material world not just for our independent sense enjoyment, but also to remind us that the enjoyment outside his service is illusory. When a man goes mad, forgetting his friend, relatives, and his own self, whatever enjoyment he experiences is that maddened state of worthless. In the same way, Jiva soul has forgotten their eternal relationship with the dearmost friend, Krishna. Until they re-establish that relationship, they will be able to realize but a small fraction of the potential for happiness, even if they acquire wealth, fame, beauty, education, and other temporary material advantages. The material desires are designed to remind the jiva that the material creation is foreign to him, and thus they evince God's concern for our true welfare. The jiva who comes to his senses and practicing Krishna consciousness can very quickly return to the spiritual world. So that is a final. I skipped one of the slides, but that is my final thing on here. I didn't want to go any further, especially my daughter-in-law is waiting for me. So I will just finish here. And sorry, I went through this thing very quickly, especially the last few slides. Yeah, so forgive me. If there are any comments, any corrections, any questions, I'll probably take them, but I'll respond to them afterwards, if you don't mind.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. And like a good teacher who always gives homework, I think we'll take your slides as homework and read them and reflect on them, because I know you have somebody waiting. And if we get into discussion and questions, it will take a long time. So we'll release you, Prabhuji, but we can chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to glorify you. And kindly send us the slides, and we can send our questions and we can discuss and chat on the group. And we have the whole week before we can see you then. Okay. Hare Krishna, let's unmute and chant the Maha Mantra so that we can glorify Prabhuji for taking us through this various concepts that we have not had an idea of, especially the Purusha features, Lila Avatars, Guna Avatars, and Mantra Avatars, and the Yugas. So these basic information is very vital to our understanding. So thank you, Prabhuji. Let's chat and not take any more time. Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Ram Ram,
Hare Hare.
Ram, Hare Hare.
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaisnavibhyo Namo Namo.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Avinash Prabhuji ki
Jai.
Sarva Vaishnava
ki
Jai.
Jai.
Everybody ki jai, as Avinash Prabhuji puts it. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
We are now releasing you, Prabhuji.